everyone, welcome back. It's been a long time. We are the Bros Who Talk Football, and this is Season 2 of Bros Talk Football, the year 2014 for NFL season. That's right, the comeback. We come to you this time all in one league, unified as it were. We felt that would make things a bit more interesting. You have a bit more kind of rivalries and head-to-head action going on. So we appreciate that you guys have come back to check us out, and it's been a long time and we missed you guys. This year my team name is House Martell. For all of you A Song of Ice and Fire fans out there, it's a little nod to that. Start off how my draft went. I think I picked fourth. I got Adrian Peterson.
Out of 10 teams.
4 out of 10. Yeah, I was able to get Adrian Peterson. A big pickup for me was Le'Veon Bell in the 3rd round. I had a good feeling about him. Pittsburgh loves to run the ball. Hard-nosed team, and he's kind of like a hard-nosed runner. So I was feeling really good about him. Big fan of Jordan Cameron this year, so I picked him up. And Julio Jones, sorry. Those are kind of like, kind of like Ruby. Julio Jones. I'd say those are kind of like my premier players. Julio, Peterson, Le'Veon, Jordan Cameron, Nick Foles. I have Nick Foles.
I really like him.
Our league doesn't put much of a penalty on interceptions, but big plus on yards, and this guy's going to air it out a lot. So that's kind of what I'm working with. John, tell us about your team.
So what's up, y'all? John here. In this league, I drafted 7th out of 10. My team name is I make it Wayne.
Gay.
My middle name is Wayne, so you know these guys are just hating because I scored the most points this week. But you know, whatever.
He didn't play me yet, bro.
I'm sorry. Did you win?
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
So
make it Wayne.
Make it Wayne, and we score points. We get the buckets. Metaphorically speaking.
Tell us about your draft.
So starting off 7th overall, my first pick was Eddie Lacy. Went with the running back. Calvin Johnson, Demaryius Thomas were gone. That's what I was hoping to get. Second rule that we always follow is does he have dreads? Eddie Lacy has dreads. Couldn't say no.
Dreads equals beast. Okay, so you
yeah,
the Bros Talk Football rule.
You have to go with the dreads. So I went with Lacy. Had a big feeling about Matty Ice. That's my quarterback. Okay. I got him 7th or 8th round. Got him real late. So
and for those who saw the first week, they know that paid off pretty big.
Matty Ice got Lacy. I had a big feeling about AJ Green. He's one of my workhorses. I like him a lot, so I was able to get him 2nd round.
Okay.
Denver fan always, so I'm big on Julius Thomas. D. Thomas was already gone, so next best weapon for at least in my opinion. So those are the guys that are like the majority of my team. I feel like they're gonna get the bulk of the points.
Hence the Broncos.
Hence little Bronco. Okay, so running wild. Then we got the win.
All right.
So yeah, so just we're gonna try little things here and there. Maybe I tinker a bit too much, but my starting lineup is probably gonna stay the same the whole year. Nice. I have a gut feeling with all my guys.
All right, we'll check out with Ace next.
What's up? Well, welcome back. First off, you can follow me at Boom It's Ace. I drafted 6 out of 10 in the Re-Up League. Formed the most electrifying fantasy football team in history, the People's Team. I picked Demaryius Thomas as my first pick. Followed it up with Brandon Marshall. So I went wide receiver heavy.
Nice.
I forgot what my 3rd pick was. I think it was Alfred Morris. And the big bad man, Matthew Stafford. I think he's going to have a monster season. Yeah, did pretty well. I was really satisfied with my draft. Drafting 6, I really hated drafting within that middle ground. Like I'd rather draft like either 1 or 2 or 9 and 10. But you know they gave me 6, and I did really well in my opinion. And yeah, that's my team, the People's Team.
People's Team. And as you can see, we're all wearing shirts from our favorite teams in actual life, not just fantasy. And as it so happens, my team, the 49ers, they won, like my fantasy team. John's team, the Broncos, they won.
Broncos won, like my fantasy team.
Like his fantasy team. Now, unfortunately, Green Bay Packers, they did not win.
Yeah, we ran into the Seattle Seahawks.
The Buzz.
Yeah, the defending champions, and
How did your fantasy team do?
We came in second place out of 2 teams.
So you guys lost as well.
We lost as well too. So
Another word of the week. Okay, so at least our shirts are good predictions as to how the start of the season is going to go. Let's I guess
season.
delve into. Wait. Okay.
The hare and the tortoise. A little forecast.
So who am I?
Hare.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the tortoise. So we'll see at the end of the race who wins.
We might have to make another rule. Hair as in chest hair maybe, because we have nice chest hair beats the tortoise. But that's just we'll save that for another episode.
Taco Meat Tuesday.
I guess we'll go and start into what happened week 1.
Yeah.
I think for me it was kind of surprising that a lot of the first picks, first round, like the first part of the draft, they were kind of busts.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a big flopper starting of the season. I mean, Jamal Charles
didn't do well.
Horrible first game. A lot of people probably had him first. He's
19 total yards.
Standard kind of number 2, but yeah, 19 total yards.
Rushing yards. Yeah, he had like a catch or 2.
Yeah, a couple catches, but he was a big bust, a big flop.
Do good.
McCoy, I mean, he ended up with about 70 yards. Most of the game wasn't much. For the number 1 pick, he was clearly the number 1 pick, I think, in almost every draft.
Yeah, he was 1 or 2.
Yeah, Anthony Bennett type game.
Right, he was not that good. Eddie Lacy, who was going around 4 or 5 in most leagues, he had 40 yards.
He ran into Seattle, though.
All right.
Like, let's not say Lacy had. I mean,
I'm not saying he's bad. We're just
they made Rodgers look average. You know what I mean?
True.
Like the whole offense.
This is true. That's fair. I mean, matchups.
It was the matchup. It's the fact that they played Seattle.
True.
Who's just so dominant.
But
really early,
it's pretty interesting to see.
It's really early.
Like a lot of 1 through 5 or 1 through 6. A lot of those players didn't perform as a lot of people would have liked. Calvin Johnson being one of those exceptions.
Studs.
It could turn out, for me at least, that this season could be a look of running backs on just really good teams. Like we saw Marshawn Lynch had a huge day. Le'Veon Bell. I mean, Pittsburgh may be on their resurgence, a comeback team. So it could be interesting. Like, we could find a lot of people who draft early in drafts kind of tend to suffer as opposed to those who draft at the end, like 8, 9, 10, where you can get kind of those 2 big picks and get running backs like just on better squads. That might be beneficial. I know most of you guys have already done your drafts already, but it's just something to kind of keep in mind for future seasons, future leagues. But that was one thing I noticed. Anything you guys noticed that was interesting for this week?
I just feel that it's going back to it's a throwing league. You know, a lot of the points are, unless you're a team like if you have a big lead like a Seattle or a team that's always ran the ball like a Pittsburgh, you know, the Lions gunned it. They had a ton of points through the air. Same with the Broncos, even though they try to work in Monte Ball a lot. But I mean,
Falcons.
The Falcons, they are running backs by committee.
Yeah.
All these teams are not going to have a number one guy. Number one guy like Adrian Peterson. You know, Minnesota dominated the game, but he didn't do as much. Even a guy like Foster had a really good game.
Yeah.
Surprising, like everyone,
a lot of people passed up on him.
A lot of people passed up on Houston's being seen as a team that's not going to do very well. But, you know, he's still a stud himself, so that's why they did well, because they win the game. So if you're up, you know, running backs are great. It's always good to have them. They're going to touch the ball more than a receiver would, because they're going to get, 15, 20 carries per game. But, you really want to be selective with what running back. Sure, like Peterson, great guy. Never want to bet against them. If Minnesota isn't winning games, are they going to have him on the ball? That's always like the concern.
Even this week, he didn't do that strongly for his spot. He had about 70 yards as well.
Exactly. So it's one of those that are tough.
So what? Like AJ Green had a big day, right?
AJ Green had a huge day.
Julio Jones had decent numbers.
Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown just kicking kickers in the face. Just. This is Pittsburgh kind of thing.
I mean,
sweep the face.
Like, that's a good point. We haven't seen that kind of lean towards passing over the years, and it's becoming ever more prevalent. Even though in like NFL drafts or fantasy drafts, at least, we still see running backs going often, because there's so few of them that aren't in that timeshare.
Exactly.
But even despite that, I feel like you still want to go with the number 1 wide receivers.
Correct.
Calvin's going to put up those numbers.
Yeah, Calvin.
AJ Green, all those guys.
Demetrius Thomas, he had a really bad game, but he was targeted. He had the highest target within that team. You know, understandable. Peyton Manning is going to be spreading the ball. He had 12 targets, pulled down I think what 4 or 5. He didn't do well for me.
Oh, who did well in that game?
Julius
Thomas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We can tell who's got their first win and only win.
The Rock says, if you are the game, then quite frankly, you need to go back to the drawing board because your game absolutely sucks!
Very, very excited. But
well,
hey,
those who
That's a lot of big talk from a guy.
For those of you guys
win.
who were with us last year, we all know that John wasn't able to get that many victories. So let's let him enjoy this. It might not
but I had Julius
come
Thomas. Hey, I was on a 4-game winning streak the end of last year. We're bringing that all into this year, all that positive mojo.
There we go.
But then there's buzz too, because I drafted a guy like Trent Richardson.
Okay.
Well, I thought maybe he could come back and have a better season, a year under the offense. Starting running back for a team that's supposed to win. Mike Bradshaw had way more touches. He was on the field in third down situations.
That's something to keep an eye on for people. You might want to pick up Bradshaw. Trent. He has like probably like a 15-20% chance of like putting it together. It's not looking likely. If he can, then he's on a good team and he could just get those like third, fourth carry.
Really bad, huh? Like ever since that trade, like he just fell off and came to Indianapolis and retired.
I think it was because I got him in my other league and I put the curse on him. But you know, that could be something that you want to do. Handcuff him or get the backup and see if he kind of can make that jump over Trent. A couple players that kind of broke out that people weren't expecting. Noshawn Moreno had a really good day. I know he was at first in like a little battle with Miller.
Lamar Miller,
but it looked like Noshawn got the nod.
He's a clear starting running back.
And for someone who watched Denver last year, he was good last year.
He was great. Yeah. He was great for us. He puts up good numbers. He's a good runner. He's a all down runner. He play.
So do you feel this was a fluke, or do you feel people can trust him?
You could trust him.
He just has to stay healthy, probably.
But he played all games for us last year. It's one of those things where a team like a Miami too, they have a really good offense.
Okay.
Ryan Tannehill. He's poised to have a big season. Even like a Jake Locker, I feel like they're in the same boat where. They've been in the league X amount of years. They're doing better.
Right.
They have some weapons around them. Noshawn's gonna help. They still have Miller. They have Mike Wallace on the perimeter. Charles Clay, Brian Hartline.
For people to look at. I have Wallace on my team. He had 70 yards, a touchdown. I think he's gonna have a nice 1,000-yard, probably 8-9 touchdown season. Yeah. So pick him up if he's available. I do want to. Mentioned you picked up Josh Gordon with word that they might be fighting the whole suspension stuff, changing the rules. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess like they're trying to fight the whole like drug policy. So whoever whoever has like a suspension before this whole drug policy, so people like Wes Welker can come back sooner than later. But they're still in talks. So I just picked up Josh Gordon, tucked him in my pocket just in case that goes through because. As of right now, he is suspended from the league indefinitely. But if this gets suspended, like having Josh Gordon, Commissioner Gordon, come off the bench, that's not huge. That's not a bad
last I saw, even on SportsCenter today, they're saying he could be reinstated as soon as this weekend.
Yeah.
So
I think
week 2,
he has like a couple of I think a DUI. I think he had like some charges back then. I think he has a couple of. He just keeps messing up.
He loves to party.
Yeah. So
he screams fiesta.
I think he has like a 2-game suspension. So something like after the bye week, maybe like we might see him if this whole thing works out.
So yeah, that's something. I mean, if you have a free spot, I'm sure like the last or second to last person on your bench is probably not going to see any time ever. Josh Gordon could be a really good person to pick up. I'm trying to think of people with the whole Ray Rice situation. Bernard Pierce.
He's still available.
He's available. He had a fumble week 1, so he only got 6 looks. But they're saying that he isn't benched forever. They're probably going to have to put him back. And now that Ray Rice is done, they're going to really need a veteran who knows the offense to really kind of solidify things. So I'd say if he's available in your league, that's definitely someone that you want to pick up.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the opposite way and start picking up some of them Baltimore receivers as opposed to running backs. Flacco had, 60 pass attempts?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, it's like 60 pass attempts. I mean, if they're going to try to win games, and Pierce already showed that, he's maybe not the guy. They're just going to air it out. And Steve Smith had, like you said, he had 15 targets. And then Torrey Smith is good. And they still have that guy, Marlon Brown or whatever.
Marlon Brown, though?
Good.
I don't know. Marley, I think it was Brown. I think
Brown,
he had a really
yeah,
good
like so
they're
just they're just gonna air it out. Flacco considers himself elite. They'll probably have a lot of like slants and deep routes, and that's the only way they'll win.
Cool. Well, yeah, I guess we have those. I think with this whole first week, like the last thing to kind of spotlight before we send it off for the first episode of season 2, there was a lot of talk of, oh, hey guys, pick up Cunningham from the Rams because Stacy might be out, or pick up Dwyer from Cardinals because I think Ellington might be out. I think like for week 1, like at least a couple weeks, you really want to just stay that chill. That's what the bros think. Stay that chill. Don't get too ahead of yourselves.
Captain goes down with his shit.
Yeah, like you don't want to be like the waiver wire jockey, like 12 waiver moves in by week 1. You're doing all this. Like if you have your starters, ride them out. I mean, Ellington already looks like he's keeping his job.
He looked really good.
Stacy's looking like he's keeping his job, and like things usually have a way of working themselves out. So
unless there's an injury or
like a really bad one,
suspension where like the running back's out. Yeah, definitely make a move. But yeah, like you did draft him for a reason.
True.
Run with him unless they, something big like a Josh Gordon's available. Pick them up. But if not, stick with your team. Yeah. See how they go. Wait till the third week, fourth week. If you have to make changes, then make changes. But yeah, hold off on the waiver wire. There's a lot of good waiver wire pickups. So stay tuned. We'll give you some good waiver wire pickups throughout the season. But week 1, week 2, let your teams kind of like settle in and see where they they're off. But
because the number 1 rule is always start your starters.
Always start your starters.
So John.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home?
Dudes with dreads.
So, rule number 1 and rule number 2 for the guy who doesn't win that much.
How many points did you score?
How dare you, little jabroni?
Less than me.
A little less than you. No, maybe like 40
points less than me.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. So that's a good point. But, stay or chill for now. Don't get too caught up in what everyone's saying. If you have your starters, try to wait it out. That helps with keeping your waiver spot high when there's a really big drop that you need to pick up, like week 6 or 7.
Yeah, exactly.
That can make the whole difference in the league.
Exactly.
So that's like kind of...
Be careful with matchups too. Just you want to start your starters, but then you could think, oh, well, this guy's a better matchup. Just start your starters.
Stick with starters.
Stick with the guy who's, you have 2 running backs. Oh, one's going against Seattle. Unless you're going against Seattle. Always start.
Go the other way.
Yeah.
So
Seattle's on.
I think that'll do it for us for week 1 of season 2 of Bros Talk Football. It's been a pleasure. We thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you guys right here.
Got this.
The most electrifying fantasy football team ever.
Who's that?
Make it Wayne for this week.
And we will see you next week. Peace.